And one thing about the class is that the age range is 20s on up. And we have perhaps our youngest student coming to the stage now. Please welcome, he's hilarious, Terry Lichwater, ladies and gentlemen. Terry! Come on, hear it for Mary.
Safety. I've fallen 4 times in the past few months, and so I'm taking no chances. It turns out that my left foot, I can't feel much in parts of it, and that does amazing things to your balance. It really fucks it up. Nicole.
Yes? Cialis or Viagra?
Now there's a professional. I've tried both. Long ago. Cialis I like.
Most people prefer Cialis.
But it's expensive.
That's also true.
Well, what I was going to ask, you're supposed to, the comedian takes advantage of the situation as presented to him. So I was going to ask you, what has been your success rate with the octogenarian class?
I think my older clients honestly do better than my younger ones.
Can I have your card?
The Center for Couples and Sex Therapy.com.
Now I'm 83. My wife is 95. And she's here tonight. She's the best thing that ever happened to me, but, when a younger man marries an older woman, the younger man cannot get any sympathy for his advancing age. This is the only second venue that I've ever done this at. The first one, the setting was such that the lights in your face, I couldn't see the audience at all. I can see you. You scare me. Now the first thing that I have to say is you're all so fucking young. Now this is a slight problem, which I shall explain. I'm going to be talking in a minute about, actually, no, I give it away if I mention it. A experience that happened when I was 15 years old, that year, okay? That was in 1954, 55. Nicole, what were you doing in 54?
My parents weren't born yet.
Oh, God. Respect your elders. Okay. Well, anyway, such is life. You get old, and it's normal, I think. At least I hope it is, because that's happening to my wife, and it's happening to me. We start thinking about the things that happened in the past. That's what the regrets are. Some things that we did, some things that we didn't do. But the really, really big regrets come under the class of things that we should have done, but didn't do. And this is really bad. My biggest regret is at that age of 15, I didn't masturbate enough. I should have wanked more. a lot more. You see, here's the thing. Age 15 is the prime year for developing the male sex organ by frequent and proper use. All right? And this is true. I've got a book at home this thick and no pictures that told me this. Plus I looked some things up on the internet. At the age of 15, I'll have to turn sideways a little bit here. We're going to have to imagine this. At the age of 15, stand up for this. I think I can do that. There we go. Success. I love success. Okay, my legs are on the vertical, right? The male erection at age 15 is the maximum as measured by the angle on the vertical from the leg up to the underside of the penis. At age 15, that angle is 165 degrees. Now, at age 18, that has dropped to 145 degrees. In other words, by age 25, and of course it continues on downward, as Nicole could tell you. All right, so that proves that it's at age 15 that we really, really, really need to do this. Males, now I don't mean to put you gals aside. It's just that I couldn't find any statistics on the angle of erection of the clitoris. Not that I didn't look. I spent an honest time of research on it. And you know this thing of the girls squirting? I didn't think that was true. But God, I found some videos that are so, you know, live and learn. Anyway. So you gotta do it when you're young. So I have decided that I'm gonna go on a crusade to enlighten male 15-year-olds to this fact. Now there's a problem there. I'm an adult. What happens if I talk to a 15-year-old about sex? They come and they put cuffs on me and they arrest me and they put me in prison for the rest of my life. So I'm telling you, if you have kids that are 15 or whatever, coming up, you know, keep them appraised. So now you're of course wondering, why didn't I masturbate enough? Fear. Plain and simple. You see, you have to realize that back then was not a wank positive time. It was definitely wank negative. Yeah, negative. God was watching. And he was one mean motherfucker. If you did what he didn't like, he would smite you. Now, smite is a biblical term. It occurs in the Old Testament 113 times in the King James Version. None of them good. I mean, he would smite people with lice and rabies and rectal dysfunction. No, not that. But, you know, things like you would kill their firstborn, you would kill them. But, you know, bad news. Now, the consensus was among myself and my friends, we had heard, and not quite sure where, that he would tolerate 3 winks a day. But at the 4th wink, the hammer would fall. And his preferred way of smiting we wankers was to cause hair to grow on your palm. Now, some people also said that blindness could be, did you use that sometimes? Others said driving you crazy. But we didn't worry about those because, you know, blindness and being driven crazy, I mean, hell, that happens all the time. But hair on your palms immediately identifies who you are. And we couldn't, I mean, my God, you know, this was the 50s. So, we wanted to wank more. You know, we felt that, you know, 6 times a day was more appropriate than 3. What do you think, Nicole? I think she started to clap there.
No comment.
Okay, so, but we needed more information on how we were gonna, you know, conduct ourselves, how we could work around this rule of not wanking 4 times. Now, first of all, we thought, okay, is it 4 times a day cumulative? Like, for example, what was it, 4 times a day adding up both hands? Or would we allow 3 times a day with this hand and 3 times a day with that hand? Now, if that's the case, we had it made. The morning wank, the mid-morning wank, the afternoon wank, the mid-afternoon wank, the evening wank, and the bedtime wank. 6 wanks. Got it made. But then there were other questions. And that is, what if you started with this hand, but finished with this hand? Did that increment the wank count of both hands or just one? Well, the first workaround that I tried was, okay, I'm just going to wank with one hand and I'm going to let the hair grow. And I have to use my left hand because I'm very right-handed. So I experimented, and yeah, it's possible I could wank with my left hand. Didn't really like it. I mean, it seemed very unnatural. In later life, I was to compare it with fucking with a condom. I tried that once. I'll never try it again. Never try it again. Just plain not worth it. Not that I could try it again, but you know, what the hell. Okay, so, but I got to thinking about, okay, let's say I wank with my left hand and the hair grows and then I stick the hand in the bucket. Let the hair grow. Nobody's gonna see it. But then when I go to help somebody and they say, hey, Terry, pick up that box or whatever, would you give it to me? So I stroll over to the box, and if I could walk, I would do this. And, you know, try to pick it up with one hand, and, you know, the guy's watching me, and he says, Terry, use both hands. What am I going to say? I only got one? So that's not workable. Well, anyway, I did finally find a solution to the problem. The vacuum cleaner. My reasoning was, if the instrument of the masturbation did not physically touch the hand, either hand, no hair. All right. I developed a relationship with our vacuum cleaner. It was a Hoover. I called it Mrs. Hoover. There was a learning curve. And back then, let me tell you, not the hoses, but the solid part that's now plastic. It was metal back then. In the end, was crimped in, which made it so everything could work. Now, I should have thought ahead, but I didn't. And so I did contemplate whether I should turn it on or not. By the way, I got a pet peeve I had. The term blowjob. That is not a good term. I thought for a moment, I remember I'm only 15, this is way back in the 50s, and the vacuum cleaner, you know, it's got a blowing end, exhaust end, and it's got the sucking end. Now I did, to my credit, when I found out that you know, that's metal and that looked kind of dangerous, and the O and the blowing end, you know, and I thought, blow job, okay. So if I let it blow on my penis, and maybe stick it in, I mean, you know, a 15-year-old boy will stick his dick in anything. And then I never stuck it in the dog. Okay. But I can tell you that, frankly, for me at least, blowing on my dick doesn't do a damn thing. Not at all. But anyway, so I stuck it in the sucking end. Now that made sense because, you know, I was familiar with the term cocksucker. You know, the 2, 3, 4, the 5th term of George Carlin's. Okay, I got them all memorized, but I'll use that another time. Well, anyway, so I stuck my member in, I turned it on, and that was very good. I really liked that. And because I really liked it, you know, things kind of expanded. And finally the inevitable happened after a few seconds. And so it was time to take it out, which I couldn't do. It expanded, things crept in. I panicked a little bit. I should have just relaxed, you know, let things subside. But I didn't. I pulled harder. There was blood. But you know, there's a nice thing about the design of our bodies, if there is any design. The glands, G-L-A-N-S, you know, that's what it's called. By the way, did you know you girls have glands too? The actual name for the clitoris is the glans clitoris, or clitoris. I don't even know how to pronounce the damn thing. And anyway, where was I? It's hard for an 83-year-old to remember anything, and you know, I'm in front of people and trying to remember these things. But anyway, right back to the vacuum cleaner. There was blood, but it heals. The glands heals really quickly. I mean, it does. A couple days later, fine to go again. This time I used Vaseline. We didn't have fancy things back then, you know, like, God, you can get lubes that taste like, I don't know. I've never been into lubes. But, you know, so forth. Now, I got so enamored with that vacuum cleaner. So when I went off to college, I succeeded in getting a job selling vacuum cleaners door to door. Because I could name more parts. But I never really was a success. See, the problem was, you know, and it was Hoover vacuum cleaners that I was selling. Okay, so I get in, you know, and I demonstrate and so forth, but they, you know, the tube and the hose and sound, it would arouse me. And I didn't want that to be seen, and so I have to excuse myself to go to the bathroom, but ask them first. They always thought it was a little strange that I took the vacuum cleaner with me. It really confused them when I would turn the vacuum cleaner on. And then by that time they thought I was a little crazy, and so I didn't really sell any. So I think there's more of this, but I've forgotten it. But I will leave you with this advice, or not advice, but I want to encourage you to encourage masturbation. Now I have a program for this that I have thought of. to make it acceptable every day to talk about it. Like, here's what we do. You know, when someone comes and we meet them, and we shake their hands, and we say, how do you do today, or whatever. Instead, just say, wank well. And then on the other end, you know, when people leave, we now say, good day, and so forth. Just, you know, same words, but just change the inflection. Wank well. And then one final one for all of the Trekkies and the nerds and so forth. See if I can do this. This is hard for me. There, I did it. I did it. Now, if I didn't have to hold this microphone, I would hold up both hands, which is the way I think you should do it. And you know, if you're going to use this. Now, what do they say? They say, Spock said, live long and prosper. Wank well and often.
I'm not going to shake your hand, but anyway, thank you so much. Terry Litzwater, ladies and gentlemen. Terry.